Live from Schellenberger Field in the Hill City, it's a clash between two of the best field hockey programs in the country as number 3 Johns Hopkins has made their way to Lynchburg to take on the Hornets of the University of Lynchburg. Welcome up to the press box, everybody. TJ Wingert here to take you through all the action. We appreciate you giving us some of your Saturday afternoon. We'll showcase some of the numbers for these two teams coming in today's contest, but for Johns Hopkins, despite a top 3 ranking in the country, it's consecutive losses against number 6 Rowan and number 3 Salisbury after a 3-0 start. The Blue Jays looking to turn around and get back on track this afternoon, and that's exactly where Lynchburg's at. They suffered their first loss of the season against number 13 Ursinus, but after the loss against the Bears, 7-2 win against Juniata, followed by a 2-1 victory at Stevenson. So Lynchburg back on track, and that's where Johns Hopkins is trying to get to today. And here are some of the names that you'll hear throughout the rest of this broadcast, starting with Johns Hopkins, Abby Burke, 2-time All-American and one of the top record holders inside a myriad of categories, including assists, and certainly going to be a factor on the offensive side. And the keeper for the Blue Jays, Alexis Loader. Lots of stats piled up over the last couple of years of her playing time, but it is going to be a bit of a rotation day for the Blue Jays. We'll talk about that throughout the rest of the broadcast. And then Aaron Boatwright, both scores against Stevenson, and Caleb Brady, who's enjoying a very nice junior campaign. Already 2 double-digit save performances this season. Don't go anywhere. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we'll have you set for the start of this contest as you're watching Lynchburg and Johns Hopkins in field hockey action on LHSN.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and ropes course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
At the University of Lynchburg, we've lowered our tuition, so you get a better value for a great education. Come see our campus for yourself.
When creating a sustainable future, your choices matter, even your choice of a college. The University of Lynchburg is the first college in Virginia to go carbon neutral. Our dining hall is Green Restaurant certified. We compost all of our food waste and purchase our electricity from landfill gas. Now we're turning a hazardous lake into a thriving urban wetland. When you choose Lynchburg, you leave a smaller footprint while building a better tomorrow.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia, getting set for contest between Johns Hopkins and Lynchburg field hockey making up your Saturday afternoon. And we'll take this opportunity to showcase starting lineups for both sides, starting with the visiting Blue Jays. And we've already highlighted a player to watch, and two-time All-American Abby Burke. But other names to note, and these were two goal scorers in last year's 2-1 win for Johns Hopkins against Lynchburg. That was Jen Mara as well as Sienna Urbanski, who's had a fantastic season so far this year. And on the other side for Lynchburg, the goal scorer in that contest for the Hornets was Megan Mayo. Not in the starting lineup today, but plenty of other names to note. Brittany Clayball, grad student, already out to 3 scores this year. Then the freshman Marlou Vendricks has been a really nice addition to the offense, making up for some of the lost production from the graduating Jackie Laro and company from a season ago. Getting set at midfield, and I also want to note a little bit of a change between the posts here for Johns Hopkins. We highlighted Alexis Loader as a name to watch. Instead, it's going to be Morgan Seward, making her second start of the season, the first coming against a York squad, resulted in a 1-0 win for the Blue Jays. Only 30 minutes played in that game, and that is a season high for Seward. Each of the last 2 games, all 3 keepers have played at least 1 quarter. And if you go back 2 games prior, and that was against, again, York, it was a full half for Seward and a half for Phoebe Williams. So be interested to see how fifth-year head coach Jane Wells rotates those keepers throughout the rest of the contest. We'll keep you up to date when those changes are made. And, of course, talking about the coaches, fifth-year Jane Wells coming off a Region Coach of the Year honor. And, of course, his Johns Hopkins program made it all the way to the national championship last year before falling 4-1 to Middlebury. And on the other side, it's Coach Enza Steele in her 44th year at the helm of this Lynchburg Hornets program. And it's the Blue Jays with possession first, trying to work it along the end line. Broken up for a moment by Riley Cameron. Picked back up by Burke. Burke has it. Trying to set up a team that looked like City Abood, the intended target. Pass deflected. Lynchburg to take over. And Abood, senior from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, played in all 23 games last year, 22 starts. And has started now all 6 games this year for Johns Hopkins. Pass taken away. Sarah Jenny steps up, creates the turnover. Has it taken right back, though, by Lynchburg. Play ball back to Aaron Boatwright, one of our names to know. 2 scores against Stevenson. Nice dribbling here. Evades 1 defender. Sends a pass in the direction, or close enough to Marlou Vendricks, but off the mark nonetheless. Burke gets past Cameron, tries to center it up. Near shot attempt. Instead it hopped up and over the stick of Jenny. So no shot on goal towards Brady, but it was certainly close. Next to Jenny was also Tessa Erickson, senior from Illinois. Started all 6 games, has 9 shots coming in today's contest. No points, however. Taken away in the midfield, Olivia Fox, a senior from California. And one of the 3 captains for this Johns Hopkins team. Accompanying Fox is the aforementioned Erickson as well as Anna Scott. Another opportunity just inside the shooting circle before it's taken away by the freshman Mallory Lamb. Big stop there for Lynchburg. Lamb able to get away to Vendricks. Vendricks in front of her is Giannis. Long ball forward. It'll roll all the way out to Sarah McCullum, who's able to keep it in, at least for a moment, and then lost control, watches it go across the end line. Here's Sarah Jenny. Already called out her name a handful of times this afternoon. 5th game played, just the 2nd start this season. She'll send it back to one of the center backs, Abood. Or correction, make that Anna Scott. First time calling out Scott's name today, hailing from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And was the first team all-conference honoree a season ago. 23 games played, 21 starts. She'll have her hands full trying to slow down a Lynchburg offense that's averaging nearly 4 goals a contest, headlined by Emily Giannis. Pass left just behind Burke, but there to take the rip, Erickson. Shots then deflected. It'll roll out across the end line, and we'll have our first penalty corner on the day. There you see the keeper, Kayla Brady, who's enjoyed a very nice junior campaign. Started all 6 games now for Lynchburg. Goal against average just over 1.5. No penalty corner here. Instead, Blue Jays forced to reset on the fringe of the attacking third. Single-handedly trying to generate the turnover is Sarah McCullum for Lynchburg and able to take it away from Johns Hopkins. Whistle on the play. It'll stay with the Hornets. Madison Mark. First one to it. She'll play it on the restart. Or so it appeared. Instead gives back to Kessa Romero. First time calling out Romero today. First team all-ODAC selection despite missing a heavy portion of the back half of last year's schedule. It speaks to how talented of a player she is and how much of a force she can be on the offensive side. Now here's Mark. Send the direction of the shooting circle. Giannis, Vendricks in the area, but neither able to get to it. But a chance here for Lynchburg to flip the field a little bit, put some pressure on the Blue Jays defense. Aerial pass off the stick of Vendrick, picked up by Boatwright before taken away by Fox. Up the near sideline, Aboud working against Riley Cameron, second-year starter at center back for Lynchburg, junior. Stepped up in a big way a season ago. Where Lynchburg had a lot of graduating pieces going into last year's team, and it was a lot of young players on the defensive side. That story's changed a little bit coming into this season. If this is the first time seeing Lynchburg's squad losing someone like a Jackie Lara, who's among the best players in program history, that's certainly a huge hole to fill. But nonetheless, this Lynchburg offense has been able to manage itself just fine. Getting more than 3.5 goals per game as Burke gets inside the shooting circle. Doesn't make it further than that. And both teams still looking for their first shot of the day. Turned over by Johns Hopkins. Megan Chang had it for a moment. 1 goal, 1 assist. 6th start of the season comes this afternoon. Back to my point, though, Lynchburg graduating some firepower. It wasn't just Laro, but Emily Dudley in the mix as well, grad student from Maryland. But Laro finishes her Lynchburg career with 99 career goals, and those don't sprout up overnight. Blue Jays in the attacking third still. Burke has it taken away from Boatwright. That'll be a fun battle when we get to see those two juxtaposed to one another. Mentioned last year, these two teams met one another. It was a 2-1 win for Johns Hopkins. Meeting before that was 2008, so there was a large chunk of time between prior meetings before last year. Abu tries to center it up, and now we'll see our first penalty corner of the day. But all told, talk about the series history as we get set for our first PC of the afternoon. This serves as the 6th all-time meeting between the two sides. Johns Hopkins with the edge, 3-2. And when playing here at Schellenberger Field, each team has a win. To insert, Sienna Urbanski. 5 goals, 1 assist so far during her senior campaign. Native to Chester Springs, Pennsylvania, will send it out to the far side. Top of the circle, settled down by Aboud. Kicked over, top of the shooting circle, broken up for a moment by Cameron. Whistle in the play, sets up another penalty corner chance. And with how much firepower this Johns Hopkins team has, certainly no easy task here for the Lynchburg defense. Again, it'll be Urbanski to insert, but you have Burke at the top. Next to her, Megan Chang. But again, the insert goes out to the far side. Aboud over to Burke. Back to Aboud. Shot. Deflected away by Brady. Picked back up by Anna Scott. Sent back towards Liz Falterer. And Lynchburg's defense able to come through with a big stop. Johns Hopkins will have numbers forward, apply some pressure. Try to get back to work on the offensive end. Nice dribbling up the far sideline. Lamb trying to navigate through traffic. Then take it away. Make that Riley Weinfordner. Off the restart. Losing her footing. Romero will get the call. Romero looks to be okay. Back up on her feet in front of a large student section amassing on the far side of Dr. Jack M. Tom's track. It's a code red contest. Each team gets to denote one home game where student athletes from other programs try to make an extra emphasis to be out here today. And in this occasion, it's try to cheer on Lynchburg to a potential win against a top 3 foe. Hornets have only seen one ranked opponent so far this season. That was number 13, Ursinus. And that is the lone loss of the year, 2-1 in overtime. And Lynchburg beat Ursinus in OT last year over at the Liberty Field Hockey Complex. So some revenge there for the Bears as Mark tries to tap it forward. Wanted McCullum. Couldn't get the pass past Anna Scott, however. And speaking of Ursinus, Johns Hopkins, the team picked to win Centennial Conference just ahead of none other than Ursinus, that number 2 spot. And Johns Hopkins got all first-place votes except for one. The last one went to Swarthmore, who is on the upcoming schedule for the Blue Jays, and that will be the conference opener for Johns Hopkins. It's back across midfield into positive territory. Not for long, Cameron. It will send the Blue Jays retreating back to their half of the turf. Clay ball. Put some pressure on against Falterer. Chang has her pocket picked. Romero with Mark in front of her. Can't get the bats through. On the fringe of the attacking third, it'll be Weinfordner to start up. Sophomore from Glen Allen, Virginia. Starter in all 6 games now for Lynchburg. Nice play. Turnover generated for Johns Hopkins. Now looking to get it past Boatwright, who has to go off her body. And then off the restart, Ariel Ford trying to connect with Urbanski. Awkward shot. Brady steps up. Weinfordner with just enough time to get back and prevent a second opportunity for Urbanski. Sends it to the top of the shooting circle. Now Urbanski gets a second shot. Deflected by Brady. Looking to clear it outside the shooting circle with her feet. Instead, Cameron, the first to it, has 2 Blue Jays on her back. Off her stick and across the end line it goes. Third penalty corner of the day on the way for Johns Hopkins. Great scoring opportunity, maybe the best we've seen from either side, and all of a sudden it's a 3-0 shot advantage for the Blue Jays. And the opportunity's not done yet. It's been Urbanski to insert in the prior 2. Here's the shot. This was the second coming from Urbanski. The first came off a beautiful aerial, I believe from Olivia Fox right at midfield. It led Urbanski in stride. Ultimately, didn't get a clean strike against Brady, however. Insert goes to Burke. Over to Abood. Off the near side post. As close as it could possibly get. But scoreless we remain. 6 minutes and counting in the opening quarter. And despite no scores for either side, there's been plenty of action to go around. Pass from Boatwright, too hot to handle for Vendricks. The senior Fox on the near side with it. Made her second start of the season this afternoon. Finds Burke. Had a hat trick in the season opener. Then scored in the second game of the contest, but then it's been quiet in regards to finding the back of the net. Burke trying to beat Clayball. Foul on the play. Burke stays at it. Vendricks gets a stick in. Pokes it loose for a moment. Trying to swing it up the near sideline. Able to clear. Force the Blue Jays back a little bit. Closest Hornet to it was Emily Giannis. We have not seen on the offensive side yet. Lynchburg's had a hard time trying to get it on the outlet out forward to Giannis. Michaela Scoff had it. Junior from McLean, Virginia. Sends it to the far side. Now battle for the loose ball. Other end of the field. Grace Waldeck. Closest to it for Johns Hopkins. Let's go to the Hornets. Mark. Big hat comes up empty. Subs on for both sides, including Olivia Muir for Lynchburg. And now subbing in for Johns Hopkins, number 29, Sam Chabot, senior from Old Greenwich, Connecticut. Erickson trying to find Burke. Just does get the pass off. Cameron now battling with both Blue Jays, Erickson and Burke. Taken right back by Abby Burke. Shot attempt. Chabot wasn't able to send it on frame. Attempted clear from Romero. Couldn't make contact the first time round, but does eventually send it back towards midfield. Johns Hopkins keeps the pedal down to the floor. We're applying relentless pressure on the Lynchburg defense. And it feels like Coach Wells and company have come up with an emphasis of forcing Lynchburg to run early, try to wear down the Hornets throughout the rest of this contest. Jen Mara had one of the 2 scores last year for Johns Hopkins against Lynchburg. Watches this one go out of play. Schaff starts all 6 games, 2 shots so far this year, sends it back. Scott has Jenny. Aaron pass. It's in the direction of Ava Balacek, sophomore from New York. Been a key reserve, already 6 games played this year. She played 8 all of a season ago. Muir deflected the pass for a moment. Off the foot of Giannis. Stays with Johns Hopkins. Here's Jenny. 5 starts, 20 games played last year. And the first of those 5 starts was her first career start, and it came against none other than the number 13 team in the country, the Lynchburg Hornets. Flip forward, Belichick. Couldn't settle it down. Instead, Chabot looking to get it back to Belichick. Deflected. Erickson denied by Kayla Brady. Second opportunity. Jen Mara found the body of a Lynchburg defender. That'll set up a penalty corner, but how about that stop from Kayla Brady? Are you serious? Massive stop keeps us at 0-0. A little more than 2 to play in the first quarter. They'll stop the clock as Riley Cameron's going to head to the sideline and seeks the attention of the athletic trainer. Here's that shot one more time, and a beautiful save from Brady. Doesn't waste a moment. Very decisive decision-making, and ultimately the right decision. So as Cameron left the cage, I believe it was Olivia Muir who stepped up and took her place. And it's Cameron still receiving some treatment right at midfield. You see that there. Flanking to the left is 44-year head coach Enza Steele. Watches Cameron head back onto the turf. And Muir will leave the cage, back out to the end line. This time inserting as Tessa Erickson. 9 goals and 6 assists a season ago. Top of the shooting circle, it's Burke. Over to Scott. Scott returns the favor. Burke can't get past Cameron. Mallory Lamb the next to touch. Then Boatwright. Deflected back out to Scott. Another whistle, another penalty corner. Inbound for the Blue Jays. It's a Johns Hopkins team that suffered 2 consecutive losses after a 3-0 start. The 2 losses this year already more than they had all of a season ago. 22-1, 10-0 in conference play. And losing in the national championship 4-1 to Middlebury. Again, Burke takes the shots, deflected out of play. They'll say off of a Blue Jay, Lynchburg will take over. The Hornets' defense has certainly been tested. But if you're Coach Steele, assistant coach Jenny Relaford, and Noah Den Hartog, you have to be encouraged by how the defense has been able to handle all the pressure, at least in the early going. Still lots of field hockey left to be played. Pass intended for Erickson. Couldn't get it through. Weinfordner has Romero. And Romero tangled up with Mara, junior from Villanova, Pennsylvania. And back on the attack goes Johns Hopkins. Erickson spins, passes back, wanted Burke. Deflected a couple times. Mara picks it up. Marked up by Claybaugh. Pass through. Erickson trying to center it up. Muir gathers for the Hornets. Taken back in front of Brady. Kick to her right. Stretches out the stick. Brady's still down. Now back up on her feet, retreating back to the cage. Johns Hopkins gets another shot off. Kicked away by Kayla Brady. Taking the shot that time was Chabot, but point-blank range finds the right shin of Brady, who, wow, has faced now 9 shots here in the first quarter. And the save total, per the live stats, already up to 6. And we noted in our Names to Know segment, Brady's already got 2 double-digit save performances, and she's more than halfway there in the opening quarter of play. The buzzer sounds. We're through the first 15, and still scoreless. Johns Hopkins applied plenty of pressure to Lynchburg, with the Hornets there to answer the call. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we have the second quarter coming to you on LHSN as you're watching Lynchburg and Johns Hopkins coming to you from Schellenberger Field.
Be ready for anything, okay?
Come on, let's go together! Together, let's go! Come on! Let's go! Keep going!
Ready to
right back to it.
Straight? Straight up, yep. Okay.
Cool. Good one.
All right, guys, you see the meat grinder down here? Stay in the boat. Let's go. Oh, what you think of that?
It's a beautiful day to watch some field hockey outside, and it's a Code Red showing, so lots of student athletes out to support the Lynchburg field hockey squad, who has Aaron Boatwright. Great clear, resets the field, and much needed after the first quarter sees a 10-0 shot advantage for Johns Hopkins. 6 of those 10 shots sent on frame, resulting in 6 frames for Kayla Brady. Maybe the best 15 minutes of keeping I've seen from her in her career. She's had plenty of big performances so far, despite being just a junior, but come up with as many saves and the difficulty of those saves in that first quarter will send your jaw down to the floor. Pass intended up the near sideline for Riley Mitchell, and no, not the Lynchburg men's lacrosse player, but senior from Maine. 5 games played now for Johns Hopkins. Boatwright from the near sideline flicks the aerial out towards the corner. No one there for Lynchburg. Giannis applies some pressure, able to generate the turnover, assisted by Vendricks. Took it away from Sarah Jenny for a moment. Jenny has it now. Flick towards Megan Chang. 3 points, 10 shots taken prior to today's contest. Chang tries to cut right to left. Can't handle the pass, or excuse me, the cut. And it's Clayball trying to swing it over to Romero. Her pass broken up. And Lynchburg has had a hard time getting it up ahead to Romero as well as Giannis. And it feels like once you get it to Romero, she's such a great dribbler and so crafty in the midfield. Then it gets that much easier to try to find Giannis or, Sarah McCullum, Marlou Vendricks, whoever's at the top of the formation for you, if you're Coach Steele and the Hornets. But Romero's had her hands full, and primarily in that first quarter, we saw a lot of Jen Mara able to slow down Romero when she did get the ball at her feet. Nice pass up to midfield, settled by Aboud. Toss forward, Urbanski. Tapped away for a moment by Muir. But Urbanski gets it back. Again, the senior 5 goals, 1 assist so far this season. Here the pass goes right to Mallory Lamb for Lynchburg. Then tapped out of play by Aaron Boatwright. Next closest to it for Johns Hopkins was Mara Minter. But Urbanski, about 4 career goals before this season. She's got 5 already this year. So certainly a career year, and it's just that much more offense. And it does come at a good time for Johns Hopkins. They graduated Centennial Conference Offensive Player of the Year, Maddie Brown-Schurer, a season ago. Her and Burke were both All-Americans per the NFHCA. But Burke decides to come back and take a grad student spot on the roster. Meanwhile, Brown-Schurer sees her career come to a close. Sydney Rowe trying to get out on the fast break. Gets past Scott. They'll keep the clock rolling. Not a penalty corner for Lynchburg, but ahead of Lamb. She also had some assistance. Couldn't get the pass away, but inside the shooting circle was Olivia Van Meter. First time seeing Van Meter out on the turf this afternoon. Another whistle. Stays with Lynchburg. Lamb on the reset. Try to get it inside the shooting circle. Once again deflected. Megan Chang there defending. Out to Muir. Settled down by Sydney Rowe, who finds the back of the cage. Sydney Rowe breaks through in the scoring column. 4th score of the season for the freshman. Lynchburg's been on the ropes for the first quarter, but come out and land the first punch of the second. Hornets lead 1-0. Sydney Rowe, great hand-eye coordination skills, especially after Murr gets it inside the semicircle. You're just trying to find the loose ball at your feet. Rowe locates, shoots, fires, and, as noted, has her first score of the day. And it should be noted that's the first shot taken by Lynchburg this afternoon. So efficiency on the side of the Hornets so far. Now Johns Hopkins looking to respond. Went off the leg of Giannis. Jenny has Fox trying to find Chang. Pass off the mark. Instead picked up by Mika Oches, freshman from the Netherlands. Good pass ahead. Abood with both Boatwright and Cameron there to defend. Cameron takes it away. Abood gets it back, assisted by Burke. Pass to Urbanski. A step in front of the senior. And despite getting inside the attacking third and knocking on the door, Johns Hopkins doesn't have anybody come through and ultimately still looking to beat Brady. No shots yet here in the second quarter. Obviously still early on here in the second set of 15, but that was exactly the field reset Lynchburg needed. And this quarter started with a great clear from Boatwright, and that allowed the Hornets to get numbers all the way up into the attacking third. And that pressure ultimately led to the score for Lynchburg. And also allowed the Hornets defense to get a little bit of a breather, and hard to score when the ball's not at your feet, right? And that was exactly what we saw in the first 5 minutes or so of the second quarter. Burke tries to center it up, but she sent it across the end line. Big whack from Boatwright. They'll rule dangerous ball. Lynchburg 0-1 against ranked opponents so far this season. That was against Ursinus. Plays in the same conference as Johns Hopkins, and the Bears were the number 13 team in the country at that time. But Lynchburg had wins against ranked opponents a season ago. Looking to collect their first this year. Wins a season ago came against the aforementioned Ursinus as well as Center. Both those games being played at the Liberty Field Hockey Complex. Loose ball gathered by Chang. Tries to cross right to left. The move was a touch too strong. Picked up by Mayo. Then a whistle on the play. Cameron sends it to the far side. Muir in front of Urbanski. Wanted Romero. Couldn't handle the feed. Romero stays diligent. Her and Mara get tangled up. Another foul, and it goes against Johns Hopkins. Not the best clear from Muir. About to do it for the Blue Jays. Lamb can't split the two defenders. Urbanski gets it ahead to Abood. Marked up by Cameron. Beats the junior. Abood still with it. Denied by Brady. Just in front of the cage. Loose ball scrummed. Did it cross the line? No. But it does set up a penalty corner for Johns Hopkins. The Blue Jays have hit the near side post at a rapid rate of knots and now have it inches away from rolling through. Johns Hopkins as close as it could possibly get, but still with no score to show for it. Here it is again. Abood against Brady. And you can't necessarily fall down on the ball, and that's what results in the penalty corner. But That's what looks like. Abby Burke was pointing towards. Brady's on top of it. Thus, penalty corner on the way with Urbanski to inskirt. She had the honors on the first 2 penalty corner chances since the top. That's where it's gone every time. Abby Burke will take the shot, leaves it wide right. Whistle on the play. We'll have the shot null and void. Just about midway through the second quarter. Nice moves. Muir gets the fans watching on the far side pumped up. Able to shake a couple defenders, but ultimately does turn it over. But moves the field closer to midfield, and again, trying to take pressure off of Boatwright, Cameron, Muir. Anything you do, change the field of play and where possession battle is being had. That's certainly a positive sign. Strong strike from Boatwright. Settled down by Jenny. Can't get the pass through to Burke. Oches. Wanted Mark. Mark ultimately gets to it. Sophomore from Pennsylvania. Sends it to the near side. Shot taken by Adcock. Picked up by Anna Scott. Scott's looking for help. Has Burke. Whiffs on the clear attempt. Rolls it out to Oches. Has her pass taken away. Wanted to get it back to Madison Mark. Instead, it's gathered by Chang. Chang crosses against Boatwright. Sends it out left. Grace Knuckles. Then had Mara. Pass forward for Erickson. Keeps it in along the end line before having it ripped away by Lamb. Taken back then by Mara. Mara against Murr. Out across the end line it goes. It's going to stay with Johns Hopkins, but they'll send him back to the edge of the attacking third. Jenny has Burke. Nice dribble moves. Chang gets the shot off, deflected by Lamb. Second opportunity, rolls to Brady, kicked away, then outside the shooting circle. Five and a half to play in the second quarter, and it feels like the frustration, is starting to mount for Johns Hopkins. 11-2 shot advantage. It's a 7-2 shot on goal advantage for the Blue Jays, but still have not broken through. Lynchburg looking ahead for Madison Mark. Race the loose ball. Mark can't beat Scott. Deflected ahead, wanted Mara. Said Muir picks it up for the Hornets. She battles with Erickson. Whistle on the play. It'll go against the aforementioned Erickson. Toss forward. Sent out of play. And talking about this Johns Hopkins offense, of course, numbers from last year don't necessarily always translate over to a new season, but nonetheless, this was an offense that averaged 3.5 goals per game. That was first in the conference, 7th in the country. Had 10.5 penalty corners a game, first in the conference, top 20 in the country. And even on the defensive side, .75 goal against average, number 1 in the conference, number 5 in the country. Jenny can't handle the pass. Unforced error. Go against Johns Hopkins, coming off of consecutive 2-1 losses against then number 3, Rowan, and then number 6, Salisbury. And while Lynchburg not a ranked opponent, just the second team this year the Blue Jays have faced that not only wasn't ranked, but wasn't in the top 10. But the Hornets have certainly given Johns Hopkins their money's worth this afternoon. Oches has 3 defenders all around her. Gets the whistle, however. Sends it to Lamb. Lamb looking to complete the reverse. Had Romero on the far side, but first taken away by Johns Hopkins. Lamb gets back defensively. Forces the pass. Near side. Knuckles against Boatwright, who takes it away. Then gets it back to Knuckles. Burke as it go through past Schaff. Chang sends it up to Erickson. Brady down on her knees. Now it's Cameron against Chang. Was trying to send it to the near side for Boatwright, but first, whistle on the play and a signal that we'll have another penalty corner. This will be the 6th already today for Johns Hopkins. Here's that last play one more time. Brady gets a foot on it, settles underneath it, and then here, Chang, Cameron, and it goes off the arm of Riley Cameron. A little more than 3 minutes to play in the first half. Erickson inserts. It's Berg taking the shot. It's deflected. First one to it's Cameron. Trying to dribble towards the end line. Gets the whistle. Guilty party being Zoe Bennett. Boatwright's clear, doesn't go far. Picked up by Burke. Trying to shoot it over to the far side. Closest to it looked to be Bennett, but nothing doing for the Blue Jays. Good clear for Lynchburg. I guess we'll flip the field. For those wondering, it's still Megan Seward between the posts for Johns Hopkins. Frustration on the far side for Lynchburg fans looking onward. Muir steps up, earns possession right back for the Hornets. And those frustrated fans now rejoice. Errant pass goes right to Megan Chang. Trying to get it over to Burke. Burke with a nice pass forward. Knuckles looking for a boot, but can't get past Riley Cameron. O'Chase. Cameron there as well. 2 defenders for Johns Hopkins. On both hips for Cameron. Whistle on the play. Possession goes to the Blue Jays. 60 seconds to go till we reach halftime. Chang against O'Chase. So he stepped up as a reserve today and been stellar on the defensive side. O'Chase stands in front of Burke. Schaff gets it inside the semicircle. A boot had it for a moment before the whistle's blown. And possession's given to Lynchburg. Pass deflected. Up in the air by Cameron. Clayball the first to it. Finds Romero on the far side. This is a chance here. Lynchburg, you're already up 1-0. Romero does play it quick on the restart, but you're fine going to the break up 1-0, especially when you're been outshot by 11 in the first half. Clock down to 10 seconds. Romero, aerial, in the direction of Mark. Gets it inside the shooting circle. The closest to it for Lynchburg was Franca Varanek, but ultimately couldn't get it through to the sophomore. But if you're a Lynchburg fan, you're happy with the first 30 minutes of play. The Hornets lead 1-0 through the first half. Johns Hopkins and fifth-year head coach Jane Wells certainly will have things to figure out in the halftime break. Meanwhile, we'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll run you through some of the team and individual numbers from the first 30 minutes of play, and then we'll talk some adjustments next time we have you here. So, don't go anywhere. You're watching number 3, Johns Hopkins and Lynchburg looking for the upset bid against the Blue Jays. 1-0 your score at halftime.
I wanted to be a physical therapist probably starting about halfway through college. I love the concept that exercise is medicine. You know, we're starting to discover that exercise really can remedy many of the things that we thought that only surgery or only drugs could remedy in the past. When the student comes here, it's because we believe in them, it's because we want them here, it's because we believe they'll be successful. The faculty here are devoted to their development, not only academically but also professionally. We're not so inundated with things that we don't have time to make students one of our highest priorities. we have your back. We're gonna help you through that. If you're willing to work, then we're willing to put the work into it and the effort to help you succeed.
This is the dough. It's wicked cute. It's always so pretty.
Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
This video isn't about me. It's about the limitless possibilities that the University of Lynchburg allows me to be. An athlete, an artist, an adventurer, a writer, a believer, a human. Because what I love about the University of Lynchburg is that they have a saying, here we're home. And honestly though, I think a better fit would be a home for everyone. Because it doesn't matter the color of your skin, the person you love, the God you pray to, the pronouns you use, the city you're from, the language you speak. University of Lynchburg gives you the greatest opportunity they can for you to be the absolute best version of yourself.
I was really attracted to Lynchburg primarily because my dad went here. He is an alum, so I kind of have that close tie of being interested in this school, and the school had what I wanted to study. I knew I wanted to help people in the area of health and wellness, so the health promotion program was definitely a program that drew me in, and from day one I've been in love with it, and I wouldn't have chosen any different. I have never had better professors or teachers in my life, and I think here at the University of Lynchburg, the professors definitely care about their students, especially in the health promotion department. These professors want you to be educated, want you to have the experience, and just want you to feel confident going into your career path following your collegiate education. You just feel like you're cared for here and that you matter, and that no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful, and the people here really want to be here, and everyone has a purpose, and it's just a great environment to be in.
Halftime in the Hill City, 1-0 your score. Lynchburg leads number 3 Johns Hopkins through the first 30 minutes of action. TJ Wingard here with you. We want to say thank you for spending some time with us on your Saturday afternoon. Showcase some of the stats from the first 30 minutes of play. And it's one-sided in every category, but where it ultimately matters most, Lynchburg up 1-0 there, but 14-2 shot advantage, 8-2 shot on goal lead for the Blue Jays, and 6-0 penalty corner advantage. And this is a Lynchburg team that gets penalty corners at a pretty high clip. How about second in the ODAC, nearly 10 a contest. So it really speaks to the stranglehold that Johns Hopkins has had on possession and controlling the pace in which the game is played. But nonetheless, Lynchburg, a couple of opportunities, put some pressure on starting keeper Megan Seward, and ultimately found the back of the net. It was Sydney Rowe, her fourth score of the year, first of the afternoon. And that's all the scoring we've seen so far. We'll see if these numbers carry that same trend into the second half, and if that's enough for Johns Hopkins to, 1, find the scoring column, and 2, ultimately surpass the one goal so far for Lynchburg. We'll run through some of the individual numbers, starting with the keepers. Caleb Brady's been fantastic in the first half, about 8 saves on those 8 shots on goal for Johns Hopkins, 2 shots on goal for Megan Seward, 1 save, 1 goal allowed. And for the shot takers, starting with Johns Hopkins, 4 leads away, and that's Tessa Erickson. Then a trio of Blue Jays with 2, Abby Burke, as well as Jen Mara and Sam Chabot. Other shot takers, Anna Scott, Sienna Urbanski, and Sadie Aboud, as well as Megan Chang. And for Lynchburg, both shots actually coming from reserves. It's Sydney Rowe and then Madison Adcock, both their shots on goal as well. But the numbers show a one-sided affair, but it's Lynchburg. Despite those numbers leading 1-0, we'll step aside and come back, tease you, and get you everything you need to know for the second half between the Blue Jays and the Hornets, coming to you on LHSN.
My name is Alexis Fabula. I major in criminology and I double minor in psychology and criminal forensics. My favorite part about Lynchburg is the friends that I've come to have. It's helped me come out of my shell more, and it's helped me become the person I am and the student I am. I really enjoyed how small the campus was, and I also really enjoy how small the class sizes are. It made me feel like I was going to be more engaged than I would at a bigger campus. If someone was on the fence of coming to the University of Lynchburg, I would definitely love to sit down and have a conversation with them, because I'm forever grateful that I made this choice. It's definitely something that a student wouldn't regret. Out of my 4 years here, I've not had one bad experience. I've had a great 4 years, and I'm going to be very sad to go.
Think a private education is too expensive? Think again. At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves.
Lynchburg is all about you, your ideas, and your goals. We've got one professor for every 10 students, so you can get all the support you need. In the classroom, in the lab, or in nature. You'll learn by putting yourself out there, and we're right there with you.
We're moments away from the second half. This is all the scoring we've seen so far. Sydney Rowe, their fourth collegiate goal, assisted by Olivia Muir. That's what gives Lynchburg the 1-0 advantage. Both sides out on the turf for the second half. It's had to be a fun battle. And quick anecdote, I'm excited to see the adjustments Coach Wells brings out. And even before the game, she was talking to her team, asking them, what do we know about Lynchburg? What did we learn throughout the course of this week? And a little bias here. I always like when coaches refer to their players and talk to them as if they are adults. And that felt very much like the tone that Coach Wells had established with her team. And you can imagine a lot of coaches have started to adopt a similar model once you get to halftime, where give the first portion of the first half to my players, let them talk, I'll step in, and then see what, kind of consensus they came to, what tweaks and adjustments need to be made, and maybe add some insight of my own. But nonetheless, I'd love to see what the adjustments look like here in the second half for Coach Wells. And really, when you amplify that even more, you look at the stats away from the scoring column, and there's not much you really want to change. Possession, time of possession, pace of play, all of it was controlled by Johns Hopkins. And if you were to weigh what side's defense was more tested, it was certainly Lynchburg who had more pressure put against their back line. Lynchburg, which is deficient, took advantage of the opportunity in front of them. Meanwhile, Johns Hopkins had a hard time doing the same thing. 8 shots on goals, nothing to show for it. Now, part of that is also a stellar first half from Caleb Brady. So if you're a Lynchburg fan, you're certainly hoping that does carry over. And speaking of keepers, we have a change here for Johns Hopkins. Megan Seward played the entire first half. Morgan Seward played the entire first half. Alexis Loader is now in the cage for Johns Hopkins. Had 4 starts coming today. Today marks the first time where she has played in a game, and it was not in a starting fashion. What comes to today, third in the conference with a 1.19 goal against average. Save percentage at 62.5%. So Loader now between the posts for Johns Hopkins. And each of the last 2 games, all 3 keepers have played at least 1 quarter. So don't rule out that we see Phoebe Williams once we get to the 4th quarter. But right on the far side, trying to work past Abood. Unable to do just that. Johns Hopkins in the attacking third. Forced to send it back to the back line. Falterer has Schaff. Marked up by Muir. Whistle in the play. It'll go against the aforementioned freshman from Milford, Pennsylvania. Lynchburg able to get it back, though. Aurora Blasco trying to connect with Sydney Rowe. Broken up for a moment by Falterer. In correction, Aurora Balasamo. Apologies. Mispronunciation. Balasamo, first time calling out the freshman this afternoon. Boatwright has it on the far side. Junior from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Impact player on both ends of the turf. Wanted Muir. 2 couldn't connect on the pass. Trying to find Knuckles. Mallory Lamb beats her to the pass. Attempts to clear. Sends it off the body of Knuckles. They'll force Lynchburg to reset. As Lamb was trying to clear it, right with Schaff standing in front of her. Lamb, a freshman from Virginia Beach. Wanted Romero. Nice move from Chang, creates some space for herself. Then loses control. Here's Romero. Didn't get to see a whole lot of her offensively in the first half, controlling the ball, which her dribbling skills might be top-notch and number 1 in the squad, but give a ton of credit to Coach Wells and Johns Hopkins on the defensive side. They have limited Romero's impact, at least through the first nearly 35 minutes of play. Boatwright pokes it away for a moment from Balacek. It'll stay with the Blue Jays. Johns Hopkins has not been shut out yet this season either, so that puts even more emphasis on Lynchburg trying to find another score here. Once you get deeper and deeper into the second half, it feels that much more likely that eventually Johns Hopkins will break through. Because, again, the offensive production's been there, just haven't seen shots turn into goals. Here's an opportunity, tapped down by Romero. Lamb then picks it up. Blue Jays get dangerously close to finding that first score. Fox looking for space. It was Emily Giannis in front of her. And just like Romero, we've called out Giannis' name more on the defensive side than we have on the offensive end. But nonetheless, Lynchburg leads 1-0. Whistle goes against Johns Hopkins. We'll have some subs, the next available opportunity for both sides. For Lynchburg, Nika Ochase will sub in. Tessa Erickson will come onto the turf for the Blue Jays. Good clear. Goes all the way out The Johns Hopkins end line. Erickson in. Sam Chabot also returns to the field to play. Chang centers it up. Burke. Now over to Chabot, who just checked in. Can't get it past Brady. Second opportunity. Laying out Brady. Got a stick on it. And comes up with her 10th save of the day already. Johns Hopkins keep the pedal down. The Blue Jays forced to have the reverse go across the back line. Gives Lynchburg's defense a moment just to catch their breath. Just a little bit, especially after those big saves from Brady. Sometimes it takes a second to kind of set yourself back in reality. Focus on person in front of you. Chang. Going to squeeze through the open seam. Taken away by Ochase. Then a foul goes against Lynchburg. Collision between Lamb and Burke. Yet another whistle. This time it goes against the Blue Jays. Boatwright kicks it over to Cameron. How about a 16-2 shot advantage now for Johns Hopkins? But Lamb watches it go across the sideline. Lynchburg now close to midfield. Aerial sent all the way back to Riley Cameron. Now it's Boatwright looking to get away from Erickson. Picked up by Aboud. Trying to split the difference between Cameron and Boatwright. Ricocheted, picked up by Scoff. Now it's Burke. Another whistle. Once again, another possession comes to an early close for Johns Hopkins. Nice moves from Romero. There's that dribbling skill she has at all times. Nice pass ahead for McCullum. Gets it between the wickets of Scott. Takes the shot. Leaves it wide right. Giannis, though, keeps it in and taps it in. Lynchburg leads 2-0. 4 shots, all on goal. 2 found home. It doesn't get much more efficient than that, and Lynchburg riding efficiency to his 2-score advantage. Here it is again. McCullum with Giannis able to keep it in. Works it between the wickets and beats Loader. Wow. 6th score of the season for Giannis. And if the first half was frustrating with a huge shot advantage, but a 1-0 deficit for Johns Hopkins, well, down 2-0 now. And a 12-shot advantage. I have to think that frustration has only mounted larger and larger as this game has progressed forward. Blue Jays need offense and need it relatively quick. Only 21.5 minutes left in this contest. Ochase, tightrope up with the far sideline. Has Clay Ball as well as Giannis in front of her. Deflected away by the Blue Jays, then off the body of Ochase. Erickson against Lamb. Erickson with the avenue. Takes on Brady one-on-one. And denied once again by the junior. Erickson was able to get a step on Lamb, used the end line to her advantage, created a little bit of an angle, but then Brady steps up, and once again that decisive decision-making has been very impactful this afternoon, and Brady has been spot on. Mara rolls it forward Chabot after a couple deflections, and then a whistle to go against Johns Hopkins. Miscue there from Cameron. This could serve as a costly mistake. It's not easy to get those passes from one end of the field to the other. But on this occasion, off the mark, and now you're putting Johns Hopkins just right back in the attacking third and asking your defense to come up with yet another stop. Of course, that second score, as we noted, Johns Hopkins has not been shut out yet this season, so it does feel as a matter of time before the Blue Jays find the back of the cage, but nonetheless, now Lynchburg has that insurance. And that makes those costly mistakes, like now being able to connect on a pass along the back line, feel softened even just a little bit. Falterer for Scott. Completing the reverse. Tapped ahead. No one's home for Johns Hopkins. Trying to keep it in as Chang. A step away from getting the loose ball, however. We'll have a sub on for the Blue Jays. It'll be Sienna Urbanski, who was very active on the offensive end, specifically in the first quarter. Chang sends it to Brady, kicked away, and out across the end line. Another run for Johns Hopkins. Another stop for the Lynchburg defense. Ochase. Make that Romero, despite the pressure coming from Mara. Able to get the clear off. It'll be Weinfordner subbing at the next available opportunity for Lynchburg. It's both teams. The player looking onward. Falterer has Fox. Taken away from behind by Giannis. Across midfield. Whistle. Goes against Johns Hopkins. Clay ball looking to get it back to Giannis. Pass touch too strong. Instead picked up by Megan Chang. We're seeing the intensity at the top of the formation for Lynchburg pick up, and now it's McCullum as well as Vendricks applying pressure. Vendricks generates the turnover. In front of her, Scott looking for McCullum. Pass can be kept in. But at this point in the contest, still a lot left to be played, but any opportunity Lynchburg can spend time on the offensive end, keep Johns Hopkins out of your defensive third, that's going to certainly go a long way, trying to come away with the upset win. Tap towards Fox. Picked up Urbanski. Just checked in. Has her pass taken away by Cameron. Urbanski continues to apply pressure. Mara, one of the two goal scorers in last year's meeting between the two sides. Cameron to start the possession. Taken away by Burke. 1-on-1 against Cameron. Junior at least slows down the oncoming attack from Johns Hopkins. As we noted in the first half, it was a hat trick in the season opener for Burke, then a goal in the second game. A 3-0 victory against Messiah, but nothing since in regards to finding the back of the cage. Mara has it ripped away. Vendricks was trying to get it over to Giannis. Loose ball, pinball back and forth. Clay ball collects. Hits the brakes. Spins, passes. Off the stick of Giannis. Scooped up by Emily Knight. Clay ball back to Weinfordner. Trying to send it back one more time to Boatwright. Instead, foul. Goes against Johns Hopkins. Rolled inside the shooting circle. Off the stick of McCullum for a moment. Whistle on the play and a penalty corner on the way for Lynchburg. This will mark the first of the afternoon for the Hornets. Also, for those wondering, last year was the first meeting since 2008. Last time Lynchburg has beaten Johns Hopkins, September 27th of 2003. Nearly 2 decades ago, and now the Hornets despite being outshot by a factor of 14 per the scoreboard here overlooking Schellenberger Field. Lead 2-0 with 41 seconds left to go in the third and have a penalty corner opportunity to try to stretch the lead up to 3. Clayball will insert. Whacked to the top of the shooting circle. Settled by Cameron. Shot deflected by Chang. Burke then the first one to it. Gets it ahead to Knight. Knight chased down by Weinfordner. One more pass ahead. Aboud trying to find Urbanski. Couldn't handle the pass. Now it's Lamb. 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Trying to dribble out the clock along that far sideline. Trio Blue Jays collapse. Garner the possession. Now inside the shooting circle. Centered up. Romero. Broke it up for a moment. Ball still live, and what a play from Kessa Romero. Otherwise, you might be looking at a 2-1 score at the very last moment before we go into the fourth quarter. Instead, 2-0. Lynchburg out in front of Johns Hopkins for the first 45 minutes of play. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we bring you the final stanza between the Hornets and the Blue Jays, coming to you on LHSN.
Get your career in the game by enrolling in the University of Lynchburg MBA program with an emphasis in sport management. This program opens the doors to new possibilities for a variety of careers, from being an athletic director or working in athletic administration to working for professional organizations, your favorite team, to running a local Parks and Rec department. And employers are increasingly requesting and preferring individuals who have postgraduate education, specifically looking for an MBA. And so the University of Lynchburg Sport Management concentration in the MBA program sets you up for success, and it sets you apart from the many other people looking for jobs in the industry. Learn from winners. Here you will learn from professors and mentors who have spent their careers doing exactly what you want to do. Increase your marketability in an $83 billion industry. If you have a 3.0 GPA, the GMAT is waived. There's no application fee, admissions occurs on a rolling basis, and our online program is ideal for working adults. When you enroll in this program, you enroll in the opportunity to learn from the best of the best. Your professors have a wealth of experience working in the sport industry that they share with you in the classroom setting. Get in the game by getting your MBA with a sport management concentration at the University of Lynchburg. You know, Hollywood, here I come. Hey, I meant, yeah.
The real Lindsay Piper's here.
Autographs are later. Let's.
15 minutes left to decide a victor. It's Lynchburg ahead 2-0. Heading into the final quarter of action, despite being outshot, per the live stats, 19-4 by the number 3 team in the country, Johns Hopkins, who has not been shut out yet this season. Huge reason why the Blue Jays have not found the back of the cage is Kayla Brady. You see there, 00 in purple. 13 saves today. Her career high is 14. So another quarter of work could certainly not only tie it, but set a new career best for Brady. Goal scorers this afternoon. It started with Sydney Rowe off the assist from Olivia Muir, and then last quarter we saw Emily Giannis with the insurance score for the Hornets, assisted by Sarah McCullum. Do the Blue Jays have 2 goals in them? Try to tie it up before the end of regulation. Fourth quarter now underway. Those questions will soon be answered. Lamb passes ahead. No one's home for Lynchburg. And the Hornets, as we noted last quarter, looking for their first win against Johns Hopkins since September of 2003. Give goes back, then broken up. Knuckles, nice give and go between her and what looks like Waldeck. Blue Jays certainly working quick. Schaff for Falterer. Now ahead. Mara against Romero. Those two have been locked at the hip all afternoon. No room for Mara to work with. That's the 6th all-time meeting between these two sides. 3rd meeting here on this turf. Both teams with a win, and Lynchburg has been a very dominant team when playing at home. Had a long home conference winning streak come to a close a season back. But even with that said, it was an 8-1 record last year at home, 6-0 in 2020. 1-0 so far on the young season this year. Chabot has knuckled. Trying to center it up. Taken back by Chang in front of Cameron. Marina Nawadney also in the area for Lynchburg defensively. Shot. Or not shot, really, because it comes from outside the shooting circle, but a mighty whack nonetheless from Mara. This is off the frame, wide right. Tapped up by Romero. Rolls back to Falterer. Scott. Kicks back to the near side. Player for each team hits the turf. Lamb and Mara, their feet tangled up. Chabot. Pass deflected by Muir. Able to clear to the near sideline. Those clears are going to become very important for Lynchburg to be able to execute here in the fourth quarter, because even that just takes off a matter of 5, 10, 15 seconds, depending on how good of a clear we're talking. But if you come up empty and it's a whiff and it stays live in or around the shooting circle, that's when you potentially get yourself in a spot where you can see that first goal, or depending on how this quarter shakes out, the game tying goal. So those clears, certainly something to keep your eye on for Lynchburg. If they execute, get it outside the shooting circle, force Johns Hopkins, even if it's just the midfield, takes out 5 to 10 seconds off the clock. That's how Lynchburg will be able to hold on. Muir has a roll past Nawadney. He'll say last touched by Blue Jays defender. So now it's Lynchburg in the attacking third. Pass in the direction of Grace Waldeck. Johns Hopkins unable to connect. Just over 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Good clear for Lynchburg. And again, each and every one of those clears is just taking time off the clock, making the comeback that much more unlikely, or that much harder for Johns Hopkins. Blue Jays try to play it quick off the restart, but possession is going to be given to Lynchburg. Lamb, the trio of defenders standing in her face. Shoots it hard past Romero. Dangerous ball, the call. Just ahead of midfield. Falterer. Start this possession and a little more than 10 to play. Not saying this is a possession that has to result in a score, but sooner rather than later, got to cut this deficit in half if you're Johns Hopkins if you want a chance to make the comeback. Waldeck just outside the shooting circle. Second opportunity, Chabot. Denied by Brady, then misses wide left. Kayla Brady, have an afternoon. That ties a career high 14 saves. Point blank range. Brady says no, then forces a tough angle, and Chabot misses off frame. I know Coach Steele and Coach Mann on the sideline very pleased with the performance of their junior keeper this afternoon. Got some timely offense to go with it. It's as good as Lynchburg's looked all season. Clayball has it taken away. Scott trying to connect with Urbanski. Unable to do just that. Picked up by Lamb. Has to go off the body of Mara. They're going to bring the Blue Jays back. It looked like it went off of Mara. Instead, it's Johns Hopkins' possession. Schaff sends it to the far side, but forced to send it back to the center back, Scott. Romero with some open space. Can't get past Romero. Romero versus Mera. Whistle on the play, and the foul goes against Romero. Clayball gets it back, has Romero. And it's deflected off her foot. Another sub on now for Johns Hopkins. Emma Rose, first time we've seen the sophomore this afternoon. Subs on for Mera. Good pass ahead, connects with Mark. Mark, race to the end line. Whiffed on the first pass attempt and ultimately rolls harmlessly across the end line for Lynchburg. Clayball, nice stop. Has Rowe. Stepping up, Scott. Will not be called for the foul. Instead, the whistle goes against Lynchburg. Lamb against Erickson. Erickson wins this battle. Trying to chip it forward, wanted a boot. Instead, collected by Weinfordner. Able to send it all the way to the near side, just to Johns Hopkins' bench. A little less than 7 minutes to go. Chang gets past Clayball. Looking to the far side. Taken away by Weinfordner. Chang trying to play it immediately off the reset. Instead, Urbanski to Schaff. Trying to send it into the shooting circle. Instead, it makes its way all the way through. No one else getting a stick on it. Schaff. Now 3-on-1 against Brady. Erickson denied. And there's your new career best mark. 15 saves on the day for Kayla Brady. 3-on-1. Still not enough of a numbers advantage. Brady likes her numbers there. Here it is again. Save comes with the left hand. It is a penalty corner as a result. Johns Hopkins still looking for their first score of the afternoon. Again, the Blue Jays have not been shut out yet this season. Can Lynchburg be the first to accomplish it? Shot. Rolls to Brady. Still live. Erickson tries to shuffle it back. Whistle on the play. They'll stop the clock, and it goes against Johns Hopkins. Masks come off. A sigh of relief, and it's still 2-0. As you see on your screen, the clock is still rolling. It looked like the official made the call to the box to halt the clock. Now they certainly do. Halt at 5:21. Now they'll reset it to 5:40. And now with all that taken care of, we can resume field hockey. Cameron has her pass attempt. Ricocheted out of play. Race to the loose ball between Clayball and Falterer. Rose in the mix as well for Lynchburg. Picked up by Mark. Then taken away. More whistles. It's going to stay with Lynchburg instead. Romero over the ball. Romero tripped up. Possession given to the Blue Jays. Nice work from Erickson as well as Mara. Trying to get the ball back in the hands of their offense. Schaff. Well struck forward. Already in the shooting circle. Urbanski tries to set her up. Burke! Deflected away. Lynchburg's defense, Brady's been stellar, but that back line, once it's gotten inside the shooting circle, has been everything Coach Steele's needed and then some. Cameron. For Weinfordner. Three-on-three plus the keeper for Johns Hopkins. It was Mark versus Falterer. Those two went stride for stride down the length of the turf. And looks like a green card is going to be given to Madison Mark on the play. So Mark off the sideline. Less than 4 to go in the fourth quarter. Mara. For Fox. Fox trying to find Chang. Deflected inside the semicircle. Erickson had it for a moment. Chang got back to it. Ultimately, it's sent across the end line. Another penalty corner on the way for Johns Hopkins. This will be penalty corner number 8 on the afternoon for the Blue Jays. Clock stops with 3:35 to go. We'll shift the clock back to 3:43 as it's now a 24-4 shot advantage for Johns Hopkins. Insert to the top of the shooting circle. Burke sends it to the near side. Falterer takes the shot. Swatted away by Kayla Brady. Outlet forward. Marlu Vendricks. She'll go one-on-one with Fox. Vendricks make that Emily Knight, and Vendricks couldn't beat Knight initially. Whistle on the play. It's going to stay with Lynchburg. Cut to her left. Vendricks shot, then deflected. McCullum the next to it. Couldn't get a clean handle of it, but whistle and a penalty corner on the way for Lynchburg. Just the second penalty corner of the day for the Hornets. Here's that last defensive stand one more time for Lynchburg. Nice look, but Brady gets her hand up, punches it back, and it's now 16 saves for the junior. Clay ball will insert from the near side. It's Vendricks closest to her. That's where the pass goes. Vendricks takes the rip. Had Boatwright as well as Cameron in the vicinity. And on the backside post, it was McCullum. Johns Hopkins well defended, though. Didn't let it get through to any of those three Hornets. Nice dribbling from Romero. Got past two Blue Jays. Couldn't beat the third. Hopkins gets it out of their defensive third. Now across midfield. Abood wants Urbanski. Mallory Lamb has been running up and down the turf all afternoon long. Stride for stride with Urbanski. Tipped up. Ball still live. Urbanski and Erickson inside the shooting circle. And the shot misses wide left. Another opportunity that comes as close as possible. And it's Urbanski, slow to get up. Now holding her head as she's back up on her feet. Athletic trainer's out to check on Urbanski. Here's that last play one more time. Just wide left. You'd also look at it as maybe a step in front of Erickson, because it initially looked like Urbanski was trying to kick it over for Erickson, who was standing just in front of Brady. Maybe he's able to get it between the wickets of the junior, but Urbanski heads to the sideline, and Lynchburg will have Riley Cameron start up this possession. Attempted clear doesn't go far. Erickson has to go off the body of Cameron. Now the referee signals that it'll be Lynchburg possession. Good clear. Makes it to about midfield before going out of play. Assuming the score holds, it'll be the first win against a ranked opponent this year for Lynchburg, and the Hornets will elevate to 5-1. Meanwhile, for Johns Hopkins, it'll be their third consecutive loss and their first against a non-ranked opponent. 100 seconds and counting. Back inside the semicircle. Muir defending against Burke. Burke down on the turf. Back up on her feet, trots away. Boatwright rolls it to the L right around midfield. McCullum has it ripped away. Falterer stepped up, made the defensive stop. Tries to kick over to the far side. The pass was intended for Urbanski. Another pass broken up. This time it's Muir. Cameron does the same. There's Erickson to her right. Burke to her left. Burke took it away for a moment. Tried to get it away to Waldeck. The Lynchburg's defense, stop me if you've heard this before today, comes up with a big stop. Chang trying to back down wide Fordner. Doesn't make it far. Clock down to 15 seconds. And Boatwright do her best to dribble out that remaining clock. Lynchburg will have win number 5 of the season. Number 3 against Johns Hopkins. And it'll be 3 consecutive losses for the number 3 team in the country under fifth-year head coach Jane Wells, looking to turn it around with the upcoming schedule. But the biggest win of the year, hands down for Lynchburg, 2-0, your final score. A massive win for the Hornets. Hard to imagine Lynchburg not at least receiving votes for the top 25 after this showing, and they're now 5-1. Meanwhile, we'll give some final thoughts for both sides, starting with Johns Hopkins. It's a 3-3 record and a tough stretch here, but if you're going to struggle, rather struggle early before you get into conference play. So, strong start to the year with a 3-0 beginning, with 2 wins coming against top 10 opponents. But then stumble a little bit against 2 top 6 foes, and now Lynchburg, who's soon to be in the top 25, I would have to assume. Nonetheless, you saw the talent on display, and go down the stat sheet, and 26-4 shot advantage, 16-3 shot on goal advantage. In a lot of ways, Johns Hopkins was the better team today, but just couldn't break through in the scoring column, and that is ultimately where you have to give Lynchburg a ton of credit. They were the more efficient side this afternoon. That's why the Hornets have win number 5 on the season. We'll go ahead and name our player of the match as well. It's got to be the keeper, Kayla Brady. Look, I know Sydney Rowe gets the game winner. It's the insurance score from Emily Giannis, but Kayla Brady, 16 saves this afternoon. She got some great play as well from Riley Cameron and Olivia Muir and plenty of others. Aaron Boatwright as well on that back line. But Kayla Brady, with the best game of her career, in my opinion, is exactly the reason why Lynchburg gives Johns Hopkins their first shutout of the season. First time the Blue Jays can't find the back of the cage, and it's the first ranked win of the season for Lynchburg. Well, I'd like to give a shout-out to my director, Sam Rice, the rest of our fantastic LHSN production crew, but that's going to do it for us at Schellenberger Field. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My name's TJ Wingert, and until next time, we are signing off.